I want to welcome you to the Osinga Law Office website, and in particular this presentation in regards to public education. Public schools and public school teachers in particular are often assigned the blame for any failures in student achievement. This is partly due to the important role that teachers play. It may also be due to the unrealistic expectations about what they can accomplish in today's classrooms. The reality is that there are multiple factors outside of the school building that affect public school students. This may include dysfunctional homes, violent neighborhoods, poverty, learning disabilities, and behavioral issues. Unfortunately, one factor often overlooked in the performance of public schools is the role of principals and school district administrators. This is surprising considering the changes that have occurred in Wisconsin's educational landscape. These unelected officials now have been handed an extraordinary and often unchecked amount of power. Their decisions will directly impact the quality of both the learning environment for students and the work environment for teachers. As in most levels of government, the quality of its leaders can vary greatly. Many public schools have very talented and committed professionals in charge. However, in others, these leaders appear to be more of a hindrance than a help in everything from student academic performance to personal safety. Parents, teachers, the public at large should have high expectations that go along with the high salaries of public school principals and administrators. However, these expectations should be based not only on their pay grade, but on two other factors. The first factor is the amount of discretion that they've been delegated. The second is the additional time that they have to deliberate about the use of that discretion. Contrast that with teachers who make decisions on the fly while trying to maintain order in a classroom full of students. This factor of having time to deliberate over decisions became apparent to me years ago when I was a district attorney working with law enforcement officers. I came to recognize that as a prosecutor, I had the distinct advantage of having time to potentially examine each step that officers took in the performance of their duties. As a prosecutor, I felt fortunate that I did not have to be in their shoes making snap decisions either in a squad car or on the street. As a result, I felt obliged to give them some benefit of the doubt rather than to second guess every decision that they made. This has resulted in my own rule of thumb. The greater the quantity of time, information, and discretion someone is given, the more accountable they should be for the quality of those decisions. The two presentations you'll see will reflect many of the things I've just described. Unfortunately, they paint a rather frustrating and disappointing picture of principals and administrators who fail to follow district policies and state law, provide misleading, if not outright false responses when they're asked questions, fail to properly document events that directly impact students and/or teachers, ignore the concerns and input of parents, show a lack of support and respect for classroom teachers, exhibit a lack of professionalism in the performance of their duties, make questionable decisions resulting in the unnecessary expenditure of public funds. In organizing these two presentations, a concerted effort was made to document the information that was readily available when decisions were made by the various individuals involved. In this day of fake news and misleading statements, please take the time to observe that these presentations are based not on personal opinion, but rather on documented facts. Any conclusions or comments that are made are drawn from the public documents and the sworn testimony. If you have the time and the inclination to do so, please take the advantage of the opportunity to read directly from the public records and the sworn testimony. You'll even be able to see some video clips from the sworn testimony. By the way, don't assume that these problems would only occur in some school district or school where you would never work or send your children. In fact, they can exist in any school district and can affect any teacher and the children of any parent. To illustrate this point, you should note that the dysfunction that you see reflected in these presentations occurred in the very school district where Governor Scott Walker sent his own children for their education. The two presentations will primarily cover three subject areas. The first is open records, the second is the bullying of students, and the third is teacher compensation. For those of you who are teachers, you may see conduct that you have faced in your own schools. For those of you who are parents, you may recognize things that you or your children may have personally experienced. For teachers, I have also included some brief concluding comments that will be directed particularly at you.